An Australian professor, Bill Mitchell, who had started thinking that one of the problems of innovation is that it's very kind of engineering, university and laboratory centric. I mean, we have kind of top guys doing innovation, doing concepts, doing simulation, simulating them into test beds inside laboratories, corporate laboratories, universities like this. So he was thinking maybe we can put the innovation out from the university labs or out from the corporate labs. Let's do the innovation in the university campus. Because the challenge always is that when you try to simulate something, you're actually limiting the kind of contextual environment, the surprises. You're controlling it, and you're not actually creating a true environment for testing your new ideas and services. But if you put your testing laboratory there, open into the parks and piers like they did in MIT campus, you had that multi-contextual, all those surprises came into your testing, and you could much quicker bring real, true value and get your product or service to the market faster. And not only that, you started empowering the people who had the kind of access to your service to become kind of a co-designers. So not only yourself putting it into the market, but asking your users to be part of the design process. So that was a kind of a revelation to us, and we decided to use that as the kind of first, I wouldn't even qualify them as a living lab at this stage, but we call it as the first Nokia living labs. We opened our laboratories, brought universities and researchers. We did some outdoor experiments. But again, very soon we felt that this has to go forward. I mean, this is not enough, and we saw that in US the development wasn't going that fast to this open innovation, and quickly we met a lot of interesting people at the European Commission, and we kind of realized that this type of open innovation works very well with the partners from the public sector, especially in the area of public service. And I will be addressing some of these, let's say, success cases which have been done here in Europe in the area of open innovation in public services, primarily in preventive healthcare applications, public transportation, energy management, e-tourism. Those are maybe the most biggest areas where there is a kind of a public sector participation, and then the industry participation, and a strong user participation. So identifying lead users, identifying the lead customers who could be public organizations that you would never kind of consider as being really innovative, and trying to create these lead markets in different parts of Europe. Because again, creating kind of early adapter communities, and it is not only that you're making efficient services for your people, but you're actually creating kind of a industry or SME focused ecosystems to your area, which is the growth of the economy and growth of the employment in the very end. So when nations now kind of compete on their innovation strategies, they all talk about how we have to identify those lead markets that we can put in our environment. How can they be embedded into this area of Belfast? What can we do here that we could contribute and promote some lead service markets here and be kind of the first ones and provide resources for our innovative SME companies, and many times spin-outs from the universities, so incubation from the universities to the market. And these are some of the definitions. Users becoming co-producers, even co-creators, even co-developers. So how to get from user-centric design to really user-driven design, and what kind of policies we should be supporting so that this would materialize. So open innovation, of course, it's, I mean, it's a catchy word. It's one of these hybrid words, but it's here, as said, it's the kind of second oldest profession in the world because of the human nature. I mean, we want to be innovative. We don't. I mean, we are basically lazy. We are curious. We want to develop the environment that we are living in. I mean, all the great innovations are, from the very beginning, very practical and pragmatic. So, out of the ideation into the practical use. And then, of course, now we are in this situation that we have the access to knowledge, but we don't always have the access to the ownership of the knowledge and to the kind of resources to be innovative. So therefore, later we will look some of the areas which is needed in order to kind of facilitate this type of innovation. So of course we've seen those signs already in the market. The open source movement, I mean, as a Finn, I'm of course kind of proud of promoting Linus Torvalds, who is a my age Finnish guy who was a kind of a university geek, kind of a shy guy who started working, I mean, on open source and shared all the facilities. I mean, he's still, I mean, a kind of a university guy. He never became really rich, but he's now living in the US and he's kind of still leading the open source movement. And of course the results are seen, I mean, in many layers of computing that the open source movement has really taken big market steps in different layers, and the biggest challenger for kind of proprietary software producers like the Microsofts, the Oracles and others. Open content movement, I guess one of the traditional was when MIT decided to kind of share all kind of courseware, all the contents openly to anyone who wants to access to them. So again, idea that why would I kind of keep my knowledge, my content? Why wouldn't I share my content? Which then spread into this strong movement, which they created this own IPR protocol, Creative Commons type of a protocol, where you can see in Flickr, for example, if you be sharing pictures, you are using actually Creative Commons protocol, where you can define, I mean, what is the ownership of that picture for you. So is it completely open, or is it something that you can share, but you have to have your name in it, or so. So the user communities, open communities, have created their own rules even. Open source community has created their own kind of a stacked rules on IPRs, and they've been kind of fighting in courts with the big guys like IBMs and others, and in most cases they've been winning those fights. Open knowledge movement has always been there. The open data movement is a very interesting, because that is coming now to the Living Lab community. Somebody has been analyzing that 99% of data, existent data of us, of our society, lies on passive kind of data structures. Nobody is using them, especially data related to kind of public domain. So few years ago we kind of announced a kind of a policy in the Helsinki region that we have to open the kind of public national data archives for small people or small companies to start applying and making business out of it. Half a year ago, or year ago, we announced a competition for SMEs to innovate new services on top of open data. So there's no cost, because, for example, the Finnish personal registry dates back to the 1600s. We have the church registry of all families and all population of Finland in one registry. That was opened in such a way that there was an innovative SME company who created an interesting kind of a search mathematical model to extract information from that huge data